Hey, what's going on, everyone? Vega here for SerpentX Tech, and in this video, we'll be taking a look at how to mine FairBrix, or FBX, a legacy project that was retired in 2013 by the founder of Litecoin, Charlie Lee, but has been revived by some OGs in the space. There's a full audit on Yeti.uk. If you haven't checked that out and that video, please do so. But we want to focus on how to get up and running and mining FairBrix. Now, please... mining FairBrix. Now, please note the team is working on a pool, which isn't available, so we can only mine locally through our own node that we have to set up that I will show you here in just a moment. They're working on updated Block Explorer, the website, and the wallet itself, because the wallet is pretty dated and was built a long time ago. So by the time you're watching this, just keep, if you're just watching this, and instead of the day it was released, please make sure you're getting the latest and greatest. And go check out their Discord to stay up to date with what's going on. But first things first, how do we get to FairBrix? Well, I'm going to leave a link to their Twitter page, which subsequently has a link to their Discord page. You're going to need to go into their Discord, please, because you need to go get the wallet itself, and it will actually have a mining tutorial and guide that we're going to sort of go along with, but I already know the steps. So when you go to open this FairBrix wallet under the links page here, your browser is going to freak out, okay? So when you click that and you go to downloads, you can see it's going to want to block it. The only way to allow it is when you click it, you go to downloads, and it'll give you an option to keep dangerous file. All right, again, the full audit is on Yeti.uk. The dangerous part is the minerd.exe, which is actually in a lot of miners, including Rainbow Miner, and that is why it's producing that error. But you want to keep dangerous file. However, what's going to happen is your Windows antivirus or whatever you got is still going to freak out. And unless you tell it to chill out or turn it off, it's not going to. It's still going to block it. Even if you choose keep dangerous file, you're going to have to go to protection history. You're going to have to hit allow, restore, all kinds of stuff. You can see it already deleted it, and look at the file name, minerd.exe. That is the actual problem child. So if you're able to get past that, now we just need to go to our downloads folder. So let me go ahead and do that right now. You want to extract it, right? So when you first open it up, you want to extract all, window pops up, and then you want to hit extract all again, and just choose where you want it to go. You can extract it to your downloads, or you can extract it to wherever you want. I already have extracted here in the downloads as a test to show you. But you can see minerd is gone. All the main files we need to function is there, because inside this actual Windows version 1 wallet, the minerd was utilized by these two batch files to mine with your CPU. You can actually edit these and mine with your CPU if you wanted to. However, there's a better option out there, which we'll go over later on if you did want to CPU mine. But we would just want to launch start FairBrix. But before you do that, we need to configure it first. We need to make sure in the data folder under FairBrix files, this config file, fbx.config, we need to make sure that this is good to go. We right click, we click edit, and there's a couple things here. First thing I want you to do is in the Discord, right, there is a link to their current Block Explorer, which is being updated, or mining stats page, not Block Explorer, fbx.kawaii.kiwi. Right? Kawaii, Dubs, Tryhard, Byron, SoCal, people I've been talking to already offline, SoCal good peeps, and you know, earned my trust, and is an OG in the space that I just never bumped into it. But going to this website, you can see there's something here that says add node. Please put this in your configuration file. So we want to hit Control C, and then we go back to our file, and above the RPC password, we're just going to add those. Now, one more thing I want you to add is max connections equal and then a number, right? Some people do 64. I like to do 20 or 25. That's just limiting the number of connections to your node. But yeah, add that there. Now, the RPC password and user and port number are important because that's how you get your machines to connect to it. Now, if you're on a local area network and you're running this wallet on a local machine, you can connect, even through Hive, to that node. You just need to know the IP address and obviously the port number. But the username and password by default is 1. The port number is 8645. That's very important to know. Another thing is if you do not have UPnP enabled, make sure you have that enabled on your router. If you're having issues, uncomment this line if it's giving you issues, just FYI. The rest of this you can leave alone, but just add these nodes, mitigate the amount of connections you have, and just note the username and password. Now, you can change the username and password if you wanted to, but just make sure you make a note of what that is. Once that's done, Control S to save or File Save, and now you just save that config file. That's very important. Now we can actually launch the FairBrix application, right? So you're going to double click Start FairBrix, a little window's going to pop up, and a few seconds later, the actual wallet's going to pop up. This is what the wallet looks like. The wallet is old school, okay? And sometimes, like it just did there, when you minimize it or whatever, like I double clicked it by accident and minimize, and then you bring it back up, it blanks out. Don't freak out. Just close out the wallet and reopen it. The problem is I am currently mining to it. There isn't much there. It just basically file, send, we can actually see it. So overview, where you can see the overview, sending, receiving, transactions, really old school wallet. And right now I am literally mining to it. This is the 3080. It's taking a little bit of a hit in performance, but I am mining to it, averaging about 2.1 mega hash or 2100 kilohash. And we'll look at some of the other results as well here in just a moment. But you got to let the wallet sync up before you can mine to it, right? We're not mining to a pool, which again is coming in the future. We're mining through the node. So that localhost IP, the 127.0.0.1:8645, is important for this machine that the node is on to mine to it. As far as getting everybody else connected to it, let me show you my custom configuration. So along with the nodes that I've added and the connections that I limited, I need to add RPC allow IP equals the IP address of the machine or mining rig that I want to connect to this node. And where do I get this IP? Well, if you log into Hive, you can find the IP at the very top of that specific miner that you're logged into, right? If you're on Windows, you need to go to CMD, to open up that window, and type in IP config. I'm not going to do it because I don't want you to have my stuff. But that will give you the local IP of the machine you're on or that you're utilizing or what have you. Then it's just a matter of adding that IP to allow it to connect to this node. Please note that if you make any changes to the config file, you need to restart your FairBrix wallet, okay? Now this one is blank because I minimized it, and again, it's a very old wallet, but I saved an image from last night where I actually hit a block. You could see here accepted on the 3080, and you can see down here transactions 1. I actually hit a few blocks over the past 12 hours, not even 24, and you can see in the bottom right the number of blocks, right? And we can compare that. If you want to check to make sure that your wallet is synced, you got to compare that with the fbx.kawaii.kiwi, and we can see right here current block. We can see the total supply, the current net hash. Matter of fact, something just popped up. I just hit another block, another 25 FBX in the bottom right of my screen. Let me go ahead and mute that while we're doing this because I am still mining right now on the 3080. But the FairBrix wallet is very basic. You just need to make sure, let it sync, let it do its thing. You got sending, receiving. Don't worry about grabbing a receiving address because you're just mining through the node itself. And once the wallet is all synced up and you have the config files similar to what you see here on your screen, and then the only difference is you're changing the IP addresses to match that of yours, you should be good. If you want to add multiple rigs, I think you could do like comma and then a new IP, but I just do 3 separate lines, right? So I might do RPC allow IP 1, 2, 3 for 3 different rigs. Control S to save or file save up here. And then again, you need to restart your wallet. So if you close this out or you go file exit or you just minimize and you think it's closed, look in the bottom right, hit the arrow, right click the FBX or the FX symbol and hit exit, restart your wallet. Now mining it, the server has a tutorial. There's only really 3 things, right? There's CC miner, which is an old miner. Look at the date on this. CC miner 2.3.1 for CUDA. There's SG miner 4.21 that they have linked in the Discord as well. But there's even other SG miners, so I'm still testing and tuning. I haven't got it to work on my 7900 XTX just yet, but I'm still playing around, testing and tuning as well. And then for CPU, there's CPUminer.opt that JD come out, and this is probably the best one if you want to CPU mine. Not going to show you CPU mining, but it's similar to mining any other coin. Make sure the algo is correct. It's script. Make sure that you put the username is the number that you have, whether number 1 or you changed it. So whatever you have in this config file. So username and password is 1 and 1. And actually, I do have a CC Miner config for you that I could share. I actually have it in a legacy folder. But CC Miner doesn't come with any batch files. How do you create a batch file? Very simple. If you just right-click, new text document, you can open up that document, and now you can put in the commands you need, right? Just like you would any batch file. To launch the program on Windows, it's CC Miner, right? The name of this program that we're looking at right here, CC Miner-x64.exe, and then -A for algorithm, which is script, and then O for the pool address, which in this case is going to be this guy right here. Let me go ahead and open it up for you. Is http:// the local IP or local host 127.0.0.1:8645, username 1, password 1, because that's what we have in the config. So if I change the username to 1337, I need to make sure I update that in my miner, right? Obviously, if I did change this, I need to restart the wallet, save it, restart the wallet, and then 2, make sure that it's updated here in whatever miner I'm using, whether it's on Windows or Hive, which I'm about to show you my flight sheet. But that is what you would use. Pause the screen if you need to. If this miner was on the same machine that the node is on. If it's not, what we would do, say the node was on this machine on my Hive rig, what I would do is I would change that IP address right here. Instead of 127 to the IP of the machine, :8645, username, password, so on and so forth. And I can save that, and I can mine through that machine's node, right? So that's how you would set it up. Whether, again, right now the way it's configured on your screen, if we were mining to a system on our network that has the node, so it's not stored locally, this one would be if we're connecting to our node locally. Please bear that in mind. So that is how you do it for the Windows configuration, the FBX overall config setup and everything. I'm going to go ahead and close this out, not save. And as far as flight sheet on Hivon, this is what it looks like, right? So I choose script, coin. It doesn't matter if it's nice hash. I choose a wallet, even though I'm not going to use that wallet. And then configure and pool. Instead of choosing nice hash, I configure and pool. And then CC Miner from the dropdown, set up miner config. You're going to have to choose the hashing algorithm, type in script. The miner fork, it's going to bring up the right one, version 2.31. I like to select. It does start off on the latest. I just choose 2.3.1. And then wallet, worker template, right? I don't put in any of this. I just put the number 1. I put in the same URL that I just showed you, right? Because that's the local, that's the IP address of the machine running the node, :8645, password 1. And that is it. That is literally all you do. And now this rig is mining through the node on the machine, right? I got some tuning to do. There's some issues I found, for example, when I had lock clocks, same thing that we use for Caspa, Carlson, Kapow, whatever it might be. For some reason, it was having issues. So I just start off with basic power limits, no core clock, no mem clock, but I'm still fine tuning, and there's people in the Discord sharing that information. As far as AMD goes, an SG miner, it's a little bit different, but I haven't been able to get the 7900 XTX to work just yet. And according to the instructions on their Discord, it says once you have SG miner extracted, unzipped, what have you, you're going to need to go to SG Miner config, right-click, edit, and there's going to be a bunch of pools here, right? So there's going to be 4 sections of pools, starting from this bracket and then going to this bracket. Do not delete all of it. Just delete 3 of them and then stop on 1, making sure to have these commas here at the very end of it. You see those commas? after the URL and user, that's what you want to do. So again, the IP address needs to be the IP address of the machine that's running the node, or the IP address of localhost, because it's on the same system that is that's mining, that has the node. But this is what it would look like by default. Just make sure script is on true. Then you got the 4 pools right here. So essentially we want to close it out, right? We want to go from here to there. And we need to make sure that the username, RPC user, and password match, and then put in the correct information here. So HTTP, like I said earlier, /127, or the IP address of the machine that's running the node, :8645, and save. And that's all per the instructions provided, like in 4B right here. Delete all the extra pools, make sure the username and password match, set the URL, then change the username and password to whatever you set. Add the RPC user and password in the FBX config file. At the bottom, make sure that script is on true, and don't forget to add a comma after the URL and username, which is right here and right here. So we could save that, but I'm betting it's still going to ask us to do it all over again. So we save. And this is on a different download. I extract it again. It's trying to start up as we speak. And after a system restart, it looks like it's good to go, but I'm actually connected to the local node on this machine. So 127 instead of the IP address of the main node. But it's working. 2.8 mega hash, new block detected on the network, so on and so forth. I recommend, instead of running a node on each machine, trying to consolidate and run one node that all the machines talk to, just to increase your chances of getting a block, especially as more and more users come online. But you can see here with SG Miner, P for pool management, G for GPU management, S for settings, D for display options, and Q for quit. And you can see the hash rate right here at the top. So it's about right. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. But that's how you get that working SG Miner with a Windows system. This config right here. Again, just make sure the IP is correct. I'm probably going to change that to the IP of the main node and make sure that script is true. And remember, if you make any changes to your node config file, you need to restart the node itself. So if you're already mining, for example, if I'm mining on this rig that's already connected, I would need to stop the miner, restart the node, and then restart the miner, let them all connect. Give the node a second to show connections. And once it shows connections at the bottom right there, then you're good to go. As far as Hive, let's go ahead and try that now. We're going to have to create a flight sheet similar. So we might actually be able to go to our flight sheets and duplicate what we already have on the NVIDIA machine. Just change the miner itself. So duplicate. There is the duplicate right there. So let's go ahead and edit that. Leave everything else pretty much the same, but instead we're going to choose SG Miner. We got to look for it. There it is. Setup in miner config, script, GM, latest. So latest says 5.56, but the link that they provided on their Discord is 4.21. I wonder if we need to maybe backtrack or see if this even works. Let's find out. So we'll leave it on the latest, wallet 1, pass 1, and then same thing for pool URL. If you don't know what you did, you could always go to your other flight sheet and copy that IP. And just remember, your overclocks that you normally use might interrupt stuff, but let's try it out. FBX SG AMD local, which means to me local node update, and we're gonna let that ride. We're gonna apply and let it ride and see what happens. Okay, it's reinstalling something, so let's see what happens. Let that install. Make sure it doesn't restart on us a bunch of times. And just for example, this is what happens if you save or update your config file, which I did, but didn't restart my wallet. So I need to turn off the other miner, shut it down, tell it to stop mining for now by going to miner, stop miner, right? And then restart the wallet. And then that config file with the updated IPs, RPC allow IP, should allow the other devices to connect. And restarting the wallet now. Little window pops up. Takes a few seconds to actually show up from the time you click it. Just be patient. Nothing crazy is going on. You can see miner D still in here. That's the problem child. That's what needs to be removed or cleaned up, especially if we're not going to use this QT wallet for anything but managing our funds. It's starting to get connected. Let that do its thing. You can see how much FBX I made in less than 24 hours and how many transactions I processed with this one node and one mining rig, this one right here. Now that the node is up and running, we can restart our miner right there. And then let's go check on number 3 or our AMD rig. And let's tell it to do the same thing. Restart miner. And let's restart putty. And make sure we got a good solid connection and that there's no issues with the credentials. So far, so good. And I will say that this initial startup phase takes a long time. Right now, we're on the CC miner on my NVIDIA system. And this part right here can last like 10 minutes. Like it sits there for a hot minute. Let's go check out the AMD rig now and make sure that everything is going good over there. We got hardware errors galore. Probably something to do with my overclocks. And it doesn't like it. So what I would say is, let's try stocking everything out. We could go to the overclocks because there isn't one configured for script because script isn't a normal one whatsoever. And we're going to go ahead and just zero out everything, save, and see if that makes any improvements. We probably need to restart the miner one more time. Let's go ahead and do that now. So overview, overclocks applied, restart miner, go back. It should kick us out, and then we can go back to the miner. There we go. We just got kicked out. Go back to the miner. We're watching it start up. This is very important to me to watch it start up because I can see if there is any issues or errors. Now, obviously, we want to tune, and we want to make sure that we're running as efficiently as possible, but sometimes the overclocks that you normally would use for other algorithms would get in the way. So just to make adjustments. If the overclocks are impacting you, remove them and then make adjustments slowly but surely, one GPU after the other, until you get to a more comfortable position where you're happy with your power target and your hash rate. No suitable long pole found for, okay. Gonna give this one a minute too. Let's check on the NVIDIA rig. It's still tuning. It's still going through its process. See if we could get the AMD rig going. With the updated IP, it's showing me the same thing. No suitable long pole found for. That's very interesting. I'm not entirely sure what that means, but we are connected. Our node is good, but it's giving us the same issue we had over here. Now, we're getting a lot of hardware, invalid nonce hardware errors from these GPUs. And I'm betting a couple things. Driver, outdated miner, and so it would be nice to see, you know, T-Rex miner, LOL miner, whoever come up with a better miner. But we're getting low hash rate for one. We're in a kilohash. That's not good. And two, we're getting a lot of errors on the AMD rig, which is substantial. Invalid nonce, invalid nonce. So that's something I would share in the Discord. If you experience something like this, I would share. There's mining support in the Discord. Talk with the community. Work with them. Go from there. The 7900 XTX is connected through my node now. And it is averaging around 2.8 mega hash. And then my NVIDIA system is still tuning. But eventually it will get done. It does take a long time. So just be patient with that. And the best thing I could say is come explore, come enjoy this. It's a legacy project. It was revived. I know this video was a little bit long. If you made it all the way to this point, please do me a favor and type hashtag FBX if you know what FairBrix was in the early days, and obviously about Charlie Lee and Satoshi Light and Litecoin and the projects they dabbled in before Litecoin. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Share this with your colleagues if anybody needs help getting it connected. They're not the only ones having issues, and hopefully with a new pool, an updated wallet, updated Block Explorer and future updates overall to the project, I believe the mission is to keep everything that Charlie envisioned, or that the project was originally designed with the mindset of, is still going to be there, but obviously updating it to modern day mining standards and stuff like that. But that's pretty much it for this video. Do me a favor on the way out. Hit the like button. Make sure to get subscribed. Hit notification bell to stay up to date. As well as check out additional links in the description. That'll support the channel and what we do here. And I am sorry to take up so much of your time, but I appreciate you so much. You have yourself a wonderful day. Take care. I'll catch you next one.